Hey everybody. So I'm out here at Dustin's grandfather's place, and Dustin's grandfather is a very financially successful man. They have a real nice spread here, right next to a lake. He's got all the nicks and nannies that you'd expect from a very successful businessman. They have their own soap company, I think, and so, there's that going on. And initially when I met him, I thought the exchange went rather well. We spoke, and, they voiced concern about us and, more so Dustin, sleeping out in Jacksonville and how dangerous of a city it was. And, Dustin's telling him that God's telling him to do it. And so I just kind of interject and, share with him my ideas on this project and, how we can get this going. And it'll give us an opportunity to be, somewhere different, somewhere safe, give us something to work on, give us a way to help out others. And just on the larger spectrum of things, help develop a new and good, healthy infrastructure. So initially when I told them these things, they liked the idea. Most of the people I've talked to about it like the idea. However, the past couple of days that we've been here, I've detected a little bit of just like an angst towards me from his grandfather. His grandmother's been very nice and kind. And, it's like, it reminds me a lot of like, I get a mixture of feelings. It reminds me a little bit of like being in like middle school again, or being, in a type of peer pressure situation to where, in my life I've just had these certain people that for whatever reason, I seem to just bug the shit out of them, and they want to, it's almost like they have an agenda against me. I'm not saying he does or anybody ever has, but that's what it feels like at times. And, and then I also feel like he kind of feels like he's like he looks at me, especially like a charity case, because I'm not a part of his family. And he's totally different with Dustin. And, from my perspective, like, I've got $80 in my pocket that, since I'm not drinking or smoking weed or buying any illicit things like that, my money lasts a lot longer. So I really don't even need the work right now. And it's like, right when we woke up, like I'm saying, before I could even drink a cup of coffee, they had us out the door at like 6:45, and it's like, there's just, and it's like, if I would have known these things in advance, I would have set up myself prior to be ready, and I would have been able to have a cup of coffee, use the restroom if I need to, like have a cigarette if I need, wanted to. But, it's just, it was just wake up and get the fuck going. And it's like, I literally feel like I'm being treated less than others. And it's a very, that's the way today started. And as the day's gone on, we've been working, and, there's just, like when he needs me to do something, he'll just be like, come here, and doesn't use my name, doesn't ask what my name is or say that he's forgotten it. I think he's forgotten it, and he just doesn't bother to ask, or he's just choosing to not use my name. Anyways, so slightly disrespectful, but and I'm looking at him, I'm looking into his, soul and his spirit, and I asked Dustin, I was like, what does he like to do for fun? Like, does he, what are his passions? What does he like to do for fun? And, Dustin answered like, yeah, he just works and takes care of his family. And it's like, yeah, it's, that's the consensus I got. Like, he's just a kind of a workaholic that doesn't have any time to actually do anything joyful or that brings him a real good pleasure. He just looks like kind of a dude who's just musters on because he doesn't know how to do anything else with his life. And, I've met others like this, and I think when they see me, because I can work hard, but I can also chill. So sometimes I'll be super attentive, and other times I'll be on like fucking planet, wherever Brian, wherever Brian wants to be, so I can be very detached. And I think that bothers people like him at times. And then I also, like I said, I think he thinks that like he's like acting as a charity for me, and he's only doing so because I know his son, and like if I didn't know his son, he wouldn't be doing so. So I think part of his soul feels conflicted in helping me out, and that confliction, that feeling comes through when we engage in conversations, and just kind of the way he just kind of orders me around without much respect, and just his general tone isn't very friendly towards me. So it makes me feel weird, and I also realize that me being who I am, and this mission that I've chosen to accept and embark on, and Dustin too has his own mission that he's talked about very much. Us being together, from their eyes, I could totally see how it's like, oh well, he probably wouldn't be so gung-ho about this thing if this dude wasn't in his life. So I could see why there's an element of distaste for me in their life, and in their son's life or their grandson's life, because us being together, it's that much harder for somebody to quit when you have somebody with you together, and there's always the good old saying, when two or more are gathered, I'm in the midst. So I can see why he acts the way he does. I don't like it, and then part of me is like, well, is this really where I need to be? Because I have money in Jacksonville, there's food we can get for free, and like my back has been, I've never had issues with my back to a point to where I literally have to wake up in the middle of the night and take like acetaminophen and aspirin, just like the most generic fucking pain reliever you can find. But that's what I've been having to do the past couple of nights. My back has been so fucking irritated that I literally can't go back to sleep, and it's just extremely agonizing. So I'll take these fucking things, and then it's like, the work that he has us do is sometimes it's very manual, and it requires a lot of picking up shit, and like part of me is like, dude, you don't need to be doing this right now, especially when he's treating you the way that he's treating you, and it's like, of course he's got a lot of money, so it's like I almost feel like because he has all this money and shit, he feels he has a right to treat me the way that he does. And that just irks me, but I don't want to get into any type of a debate or, argument with, Dustin's grandfather. But the other part of me is like, maybe he needs to hear this, man, because if he really is a Christian, like, you shouldn't, the whole thing is you're supposed to treat each other equally. Like, no matter if it's a stranger or somebody you've known for 20 years, or somebody who's in your family, you all should be loving each other unconditionally. That's the whole fucking main thing of Jesus' word. I mean, the main thing, that's the overall feeling that I get, when I resonate on what he did and what he came and what he shared with us, is to just love one another unconditionally, as you would anybody. And especially not to let things like money and, family ties and this and that get in the way of loving others. To me, that's not Christian at all, really. So, like, because I'm on this mission, and it's funny too how I just made the video last night about meanness, and I also uploaded one talking about how money holds you back, and it can make you fucking heavier, and it's like, oh yeah, I mean, it's true, and I just I'm watching it happen in my life right now in front of me, as I see this gentleman who spent so many years working for his family and this and that, but yet he has no real joy or love or good passion or even happiness within inside of himself. And he's got kidney stones right now, and it's like, he talks about how he's retired now, but he works more than when he wasn't retired. And it's like, dude, this is what you live for? It's like, I don't want this shit. I don't want this backache, and it's like, he's talking about, and I talk about my back hurts, and none of them give a shit, and it's like, okay, whatever, it's like, I don't know. It's a little strange, but I don't want to be somewhere where they don't really want me. So I think, if this type of attitude continues, I'm just going to ask him straight up, like, do you want me here? And if he says yes, well, then I'm going to tell him, well, then if you want me here, then I'm going to ask you to please treat me with a little bit more respect, because I feel like you've been slightly disrespectful. And that tells me that there's something about me that you don't want or you don't like. And I'm not going to sit around and stay somewhere where I'm not wanted. I'm just not going to do it. I can fend on my own. I know how to survive. So, and it's like, Dustin's been, the last engagement that we had, he's been around, so I know he knows how I'm feeling about this, and he hasn't, I mean, he talked a little bit how his dad's kind of crass about things, but, you know, he hasn't really asked me, I don't know, just, you know, being introspective in other people's lives, I find can be a very good way to find out what's really going on with them and also to really connect with them. And sometimes I think Dustin has trouble, he talks a lot, you know, he likes to talk a lot. And I think because he likes to talk a lot, he has a hard time perhaps like listening to others. You know, I don't know, that's just kind of what I'm getting, but I don't feel as, I just don't feel that same desire to want to, like, I don't feel like he wants to go into my emotions type thing, you know, which is what it is, man. I mean, it's not easy to do, but if you're really trying to build a relationship with somebody and you're really trying to love somebody, you know, that's part of it, in my opinion, is being there for them in that emotional moment, whether you want to or not, but just to help them through it. And if you can, then awesome. If you can't, then at least you guys have come to that conclusion, and the only way you can really come to that conclusion is by putting effort into it and seeing if that effort manifests into something that is healthy, or if it manifests into something to where it's like you've done what you can do and you've tried to help them express and move on in a healthier way. And if they're not receptive to it, then that's their own choice. But at least you've taken the time and the good energy and, you know, shared your heart and chosen to try to listen to their heart instead of just kind of moving on with shit like nothing ever happened. So anyways, I love you guys. Hope you all have a good day. All right, bye.